The deadliest venom in Africa faces the king of the savannah. In this fight to the death, who will earn the right to survive? Kenya. July. Daytime temperatures climb to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The dry season has arrived earlier than ever this year. Week by week, the Mara River continues to shrink. Water holes that once stretched for miles have been reduced to muddy pools scattered across the parched plains. And toward every remaining drop of water, the entire animal kingdom converges. The king of the savannah, an adult male lion weighing up to 550 pounds. He controls a territory spanning more than 155 square miles. Every species has learned to step aside when the king passes. Except for 3 that can't, because they have no legs. The Mozambique spitting cobra, the puff adder, and the deadliest of all, the black mamba. Dawn breaks. The pride's lead lioness guides 4 young lions toward the eastern edge of their territory. They cross the open grassland with the confidence of those who have yet to learn how dangerous the wild truly is. Hidden in the tall grass, less than 3 meters away, a creature coils tightly around itself. The Mozambique spitting cobra, the smallest of Africa's spitting cobras, rarely exceeding 1 meter in length. Its small size forced evolution down a different path, instead of overpowering enemies in close combat. It evolved a weapon that strikes from a distance. 60 million years of evolution are concentrated into 2 tiny grooves at the tips of its fangs. These microscopic channels allow the snake to adjust the direction of each jet of venom independently, with an error margin of less than 1 degree. From a distance of 2.5 meters, it can aim directly at its target's eyes with an accuracy exceeding 90%. But before it spits, it performs a move that few victims ever anticipate. The cobra lunges forward in a dramatic mock attack, just enough to trigger its opponent's instinctive dodge. That exact moment is when it spits, a perfectly timed 2-stream spray of venom. Lions possess no natural antibodies against its toxins. Against this chemical weapon, the king of the savannah has only one defense: experience. And experience always comes at a price. 2 hours later, the pride resumes its patrol toward the east. The landscape begins to change. Short shrubs replace the open grassland, broken only by scattered thorn acacias. Anyone who has survived this place knows one thing: this is the territory of the invisible, the puff adder, The only snake in Africa, and perhaps the only snake on Earth, capable of almost completely suppressing its own chemical scent. Working dogs trained for months to locate venomous snakes consistently failed to detect a puff adder. Not because the dogs lack skill, but because there is almost nothing to detect. Unlike most animals, the puff adder releases virtually none of the volatile organic compounds that normally escape through the skin and breath. Over millions of years, it evolved to disappear from nearly every biological sense. A young male lion walks within 30 centimeters of the snake without ever noticing it. If his front paw lands just a few centimeters closer, the puff adder strikes. Its venom is primarily cytotoxic. From the point of contact, it begins destroying living tissue, spreading outward without pause, and it continues until there is little left to destroy. The puff adder also bites more people each year than any other snake in Africa, not because it possesses the continent's most powerful venom, but because almost no one ever sees it before it strikes. As the sun reaches its highest point, midday arrives. The pride stops to rest beside the last remaining waterhole. On the opposite bank, a much smaller creature is doing something no lion in the pride can comprehend. A honey badger collapses moments after being bitten by a venomous snake. If it were almost any other animal, the story would end there. But 2 hours later, the honey badger wakes up and calmly resumes eating the very snake that bit it. The explanation behind this extraordinary event lies in an evolutionary history spanning millions of years. The acetylcholine receptors at the honey badger's neuromuscular junction have undergone a remarkable mutation. An extra sugar molecule attached to the protein chain forms a physical barrier, preventing neurotoxins from locking onto their target. But out here on the savannah, there are warriors with an even more effective strategy for dealing with venomous snakes. Small in size, but fearless by nature, meerkats have turned teamwork into one of the most powerful survival weapons in Africa. Their opponent is one of the savannah's most dangerous snakes, the Cape cobra, an assassin armed with one of Africa's most devastating neurotoxins. In a one-on-one encounter, virtually no meerkat would stand a chance. But the sovereign of venom has forgotten the desert's oldest rule. Meerkats never stand alone. An entire clan advances, forming a deadly ring around the predator. Dozens of small silhouettes spread out in perfect coordination, cutting off every possible escape. Beneath the scorching African sun, even the youngest meerkats have already learned the most valuable lesson of survival. The ultimate weapon against the wilderness isn't found in claws or fangs. It's found in family. The black mamba can travel between 7 and 12 miles per hour. The fastest snake in Africa. When it chooses to flee, almost nothing can catch it. When it chooses not to flee, the opportunity for a counterstrike simply doesn't exist. Its venom is a two-layered system. The first layer consists of powerful neurotoxins. The second, dendrotoxins. The result is the gradual shutdown of one vital system after another. Muscles, breathing, and the heart. One by one, within just 20 minutes. The black mamba attacks only when it has no other choice. But once it decides to strike, nothing on the Kenyan savannah is fast enough to avoid its first bite. Not even the king of the savannah. That afternoon, a black mamba is returning to its den after a successful hunt. Its shelter lies beneath the roots of an old acacia tree, roughly 130 feet from the pride's main waterhole. Not close enough to be a problem, at least not yet. By conventional definition, black mambas cannot hear. Yet as they move, their lower jaw remains in constant contact with the ground. Through a bone known as the quadrate, they detect low-frequency vibrations traveling through the soil. Long before seeing anything, the mamba already knows something large is approaching. One of the cubs begins exploring beyond the waterhole, and the previous gap narrows to 65 feet. The mamba does not retreat. It has no reason to. 30 feet, still no movement. 15 feet. The snake raises nearly a third of its body high above the ground. A single bite delivers between 100 and 120 milligrams of neurotoxic venom. Enough to paralyze a lion's respiratory system in roughly 20 minutes. The cost of a confrontation that could end up being death. But even the black mamba is not untouchable. From high above, another hunter is always watching. The brown snake eagle. The undisputed nemesis of Africa's reptiles. Its weapon is a pair of razor-sharp talons capable of exerting extraordinary crushing force. Today's target, the forest cobra, the largest species in the cobra genus. Unlike many birds of prey, the snake eagle's legs are bare, yet they are protected by thick, overlapping keratin scales that form an almost impenetrable biological shield. Once again, the skies demonstrate the overwhelming power of nature's supreme reptile hunter, the snake killer. Far to the north of the pride's territory, over a mile away, another predator approaches the last remaining waterhole. The African rock python. Evolution chose a completely different path for this giant. This adult measures over 16 feet long, one of the largest snakes in Africa. It weighs an estimated 143 to 154 pounds, powerful enough to capture prey, weighing well over its own body mass. During the dry season, the waterhole becomes the most valuable location on the entire landscape. The entire ecosystem is drawn here. The rock python does not rely on explosive speed. It simply doesn't need to. Its hunting strategy is built on one unavoidable reality. Every animal that comes to drink must lower its head. And the moment the head drops, the field of vision narrows. The neck and shoulders leave their natural defensive position. The python has already been waiting beside the waterhole for more than 2 hours, completely motionless. 3 young lions arrive alone. All 3 are still young enough for inexperience to outweigh caution. The python begins its approach from downwind. The youngest lion notices it far too late, only when the massive snake is already within 6 feet. From the instant the python launches its head to the moment the first coil locks into place, less than 1.5 seconds pass. The African rock python was never built to fight multiple opponents. Every aspect of its evolution is optimized for a single target. Choose one victim, wait patiently, and constrict. Just 8 seconds later, the attack has already achieved its purpose. The young lion limps for the next 3 days. The waterhole, the most valuable resource within a 2-mile radius, has now become permanently marked as a place of danger inside the minds of all 3 young lions. By the end of the day, the pride regroups along the eastern edge of its territory. There will be no meal tonight. Throughout the day, every member of the pride has spent energy defending themselves rather than hunting. Each lion has burned between 2,000 and 3,000 calories, drawing from reserves of fat and muscle glycogen. During the dry season, every day without a successful hunt brings the pride one step closer to starvation. After 10 days without food, hunting efficiency begins to decline. Muscles weaken, reflexes slow, and decisions become less precise. But the pride still has one advantage. They don't have to face the wilderness alone. In the African savannah, survival has never belonged to the strongest. It belongs to those who stand together. And even then, survival always comes at a cost. In nature, no battle is ever won in an absolute sense. There are only battles whose cost remains below the threshold of death. As the sun slowly sinks beneath the vast African plains, another day in the oldest arms race on Earth comes to an end. Yet the greatest threat to survival no longer comes from nature itself. In the 21st century, the line between life and death in the wild is no longer determined by biology alone. It depends, more than ever, on human actions. In the 1970s, Kenya was home to more than 20,000 lions. According to the IUCN's 2023 estimates, only 2,000 to 2,500 remain today. A decline of more than 85% in just 50 years, not because evolution created a more powerful rival, but because of habitat loss. The shrinking wildlands bring the lions into conflict with farming communities, forcing them to put up fences that prevent migration. No amount of evolution can prepare a species for that kind of change, one that happens within a single human lifetime. The landscape that sustains the great migration of millions of wildebeest and zebras now faces the risk of ecological collapse. Yet in the face of these unprecedented challenges, a new era of conservation is taking shape. One built on science, cooperation, and the commitment of local communities. Community-based conservation organizations are removing selected fences, restoring ancient wildlife corridors, and compensating landowners to keep the savannah open. These efforts have already helped restore more than 40% of the connectivity across key migration routes, a crucial step towards securing the future of Africa's wildlife. For millions of years, humanity has depended on nature, just as much as nature now depends on humanity. The statistics today tell us a story of loss, but the determination of scientists, the courage of wildlife rangers, the wisdom of indigenous communities, and the resolve of those protecting these landscapes offer a story of hope. Protecting nature is about far more than saving a handful of species or restoring ecological balance. It is about preserving the heartbeat of our planet itself, a living legacy for every generation still to come.